Hey guys, I'm Saurav, welcome to my channel. It feels so good to be back. The reason I was not uploading any video for the last couple of weeks is that I was exploring parts of Himachal Pradesh with my friends. The vlog is going to come soon. In this video, what I am going to show you is how I organize and edit my travel images from start to finish after I shoot them and give certain tips to improve your overall editing workflow. This is going to be super helpful and exciting, so without wasting any time, let's get started. Before we begin editing the images, a very important tip I want to give you is taking backups. You should not rely on your SD card. You shoot amazing images on your trip and the last thing you want to realize is your SD card got corrupted. What I do is, as I'm back in the hotel, I start taking backups in multiple storage devices, preferably 2. So even if one of the storage device fails, I still have backup of the backup. Now, the reason I'm able to give you this advice is this happened with me once. I was on a trip to Singapore and I came back and I only backed up the data on my MacBook Pro. Before I even started editing the video of Singapore, my MacBook hard drive got crashed and I lost all my data. I don't want that to happen with you people. So remember, taking backups is super important. The first thing, and very important, is to organize your images. You would have taken a lot of images with different devices. For example, I have used my Nikon Z6, DJI Mavic 2 Pro and my iPhone. I don't like to put all the images from all the devices in one folder. I like to keep them in separate folders and I'll explain later why I do that. I've shot a lot of videos, time lapses, portraits, landscapes in this trip and I'm going to separate them as well because my editing workflow for landscapes and portraits are completely different. So if I'm editing landscapes, there are certain similar steps that I do for all my images. So I'm in the zone of editing landscapes. So if I have them organized, I can edit the images more efficiently. I'm using Lightroom to edit my images. I import all the images and then I start rating them. It's very simple. Just go through the images and press the number key and it gets rated. 1 star is I'm not going to use that image. 2 star is the image is okay, I might use it, I'll save it for later. 3 star means the image is good, the chances are higher I will use it. 4 star means the image is really good and I'm definitely going to use it. 5 star means the image is perfect, but I haven't rated any of my image 5 stars yet. Someday I will, I guess. After I'm done going through all my images and rating them, I filter them. Go to filter, rated, and then suppose I want to edit images with 3 stars first, I'll click on the 3rd star and it will show me images with 3 stars and higher. If you only want to see images with 3 stars and not 4 or 5, click here and click on rating is equal to. I mostly start editing images with 4 stars first and then later 3 and then 2. So this was all about storing, organizing and rating the images. I haven't even started editing the photos. You can call this as the pre-editing phase, but it is equally important because it's going to make your editing process a lot simpler. I'm not going to cover the editing process in depth because I've already done that in my previous videos. The link will be in the description. This part of the video is focused more towards what my workflow is with my travel images. Before that, it's time to thank the sponsors of the video and that is Skillshare. You want to learn photography, filmmaking, photo editing, video editing, animation, music? Skillshare is the place to go. Recently, I joined this class by Sean Dalton on finding our unique editing style in Lightroom. In this course, he first covers the basics of Lightroom, shows how to create and use presets, and then he covers different styles of editing an image from start to finish. If you want to upgrade your skills, if you want to learn something new, you should check out Skillshare. For the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the description below, you get a free premium Skillshare trial membership. If you're taking an yearly subscription, you're paying less than $10 or 800 Indian rupees and you get unlimited access to all the classes. Again, if you're interested, the link is in the description below. First, I start with global edits, meaning whatever I'm going to do is going to affect the whole image. Here, I do my exposure adjustments, adjusting the highlights, shadows, whites and blacks. I make sure I have all the details I need from the raw file. The next thing is correcting white balance. Before that, there are dust spots in my sensor. I need to get that cleaned soon, but for this one, I'm going to use spot removal in Lightroom. To see the spots more clearly, click on Visualize Spots and get rid of them. Most of the times, I stick with the default white balance because cameras nowadays are pretty accurate, but sometimes I like to change the white balance to change the overall mood of the image. A tip I would like to give you is, while changing white balance, crank up the saturation and then make the changes in white balance. Since the colors are over exaggerated, you get to see clearly what changes you're making. Once it looks fine, you can dial down the saturation and get an accurate look. Coming back to this image, I'll increase the texture a bit and the mountains look a tad crisper now. I'll use the tone curve, nothing crazy, just a normal S curve. If you have been following my channel, you'd know that tone curve is my favorite tool. It helps me to get that extra contrast. Then in the HSL panel, I'll just make the trees a bit brighter by increasing the luminance of green and yellow. And in the hue section, I'll make the blue look more like aqua and less like purple. Again, if you want to know how to use these tools in detail, the link to the videos will be in the description. Then I add a bit of detail, lens corrections, and to finish, a bit of vignetting. So nothing crazy, just simple edits, playing with exposure, colors and contrast. Once I'm done with global edits, I now move to local edits, meaning I'm going to target particular areas of the image and not the overall image. For this one, the shadows are too dark. Even if I bring the shadows to +100, you cannot see much details. So I'm going to use radial filter, increase the exposure and shadows a bit. I will duplicate this filter and use it in multiple areas. For this image, I'll use a gradual filter, increase the shadows and highlights and make the tree even brighter. I'll use a radial filter on top of that and increase the highlights to create some more contrast in the trees. I want to add a bit of clarity to the mountains to add some depth. So I will use one more gradual filter just for the mountains. I'll add a bit of dehaze and increase the temperature to make it slightly warmer because there's a bit of sunlight falling on it. Just with simple global and local edits, you can make the image look much better. I don't convert a lot of photos in black and white, but as soon as I took this photo, I knew I'm going to convert this to black and white. This picture mostly consists of blue tones, so it's already a monochrome image. I like the contrast between the highlights and shadows, and converting it to black and white accentuates that contrast. I'll do my basic edits as usual, and then when you convert the image to black and white, instead of HSL slider, you get a black and white slider, which is basically luminance. I'm going to reduce the luminance of blue and darken the sky to give that matte black look. I wanted a low-key look, and just with a simple slider, the contrast looks much better according to me. Again, a very simple edit, but I loved how this one turned out. If you're exporting images for your desktop or laptop, use Adobe RGB or ProPhoto RGB, whatever you prefer. But if you're exporting for web, make sure you're using sRGB and resize the long edge to 2048 pixels. This will make sure your images don't get compressed when you upload them on social media and you get good quality results. That's it from this video, guys. I hope you people enjoyed it and you found it helpful. If you did, you know what to do, right? Press the like button. If you're new to the channel, you want more such content, definitely subscribe to the channel. There's more interesting content coming soon. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.